Hey, good morning. Welcome to Daily One Command. I'm Kathryn Perry. I'm your host, and I am a I am a mindset coach, excuse me. And I help people reconnect to their innate magic. And so I help them with that mindset. I help them finding the right structures and then connecting into their mojo. Very terrible intro, but I want to let you know that I'm here for you. And the reason I do this is because we need that daily boost and we need something that we can focus on each day for our personal growth. And I just want to say welcome and thank you so much. Hey, let's jump right into it. Today's message is about care. And we want to look, what's the lens about care? This is one of these words we throw around all the time. I think we use this word more than love. And so we're going to be doing commands around care. And here's the lens that we're going to look at this through. To be successful is to be helpful, caring, and constructive. To make everything and everyone you touch a little bit better. And if I have to say that, what would be your philosophy of life? This probably is it in a nutshell. Now, this could be because I am a good first daughter and of the latchkey kids, but caring was a really high value in my family. My mom demonstrated that in so many amazing ways, even though not only did she, for a long time worked a regular job, she and my dad worked in the evenings to build sweat equity into their first business together. And so we didn't get a lot of that huggy, touchy stuff. So, how could I have gotten the message that I was loved and cared for, even though my mom wasn't present? Well, she had certain touch points. She made sure that I absolutely knew that there was food, shelter, clothing, and then if there was something that I truly needed her for, she was there. But the ways that really mattered the most was she had this ability to be completely present in moments with me. And the times that I remember with her are times where we're sitting and we're talking about something and she's talking to me like um I'm an older person. She's meeting me where I was. And at our little town, sometimes it was in the house, but usually it was outside. And I remember kind of sitting on the back porch with her and her just sitting next to me and meeting, dropping down her energy and her tone of voice and just being 100% present. And so that stuck with me. And I would have to say, in working with my clients, that is probably my superpower, is my ability to drop down, be with them, and meet them wherever they are. At my mom's funeral, or actually her memorial, I said, my mom would have been an incredible coach or a speaker. She would have been an amazing NLP practitioner because she was this great at reframing and doing all this stuff. And I always thought, oh gosh, her world's so small. But my mom always worked jobs where there was all of these. It was always high touch, working with the public, and even many, many years later, she could recall the names of people and what their situations were. And most of her jobs, like my jobs, were all public facing jobs. In fact, I ran into a childhood friend and I said, oh, yeah, I ran into Jimmy. And she went, oh, my God, Jimmy and his brother David. Well, how are they doing? Are they still are they still there? And she wanted to know all about them. And she absolutely remembered them. And everyone remembered her. Everyone was always a little bit in love with my mom. So when I'm talking about care, very often that is what we go back to, is our thoughts, images, memories about our mom. Now, it was not always that way for me. I had to do a lot of deep reflection in order to connect in to that loving mom. And I'm going to show you something here. This is the Queen of Cups in the tarot deck. And what the Queen represents is being present and healing through empathy. Now that's the simplest mode. But the interesting thing about the Queen of Cups is that she's represented as the loving mother next to a river with a cup, and as she dips into the river, there's plenty for her. She's got cups all around her, and she has the ability to share. Now, someone shared with me, and this was the piece that I think really kind of turned the light bulb on for me. And she said, she was talking to me about this idea about care. Like we get, right now it's really popular to talk about self-care, right? And what does it involve? Buying lotion, taking a bath, being alone, walking away, eating food all by yourself. And that's self-care. And it's very isolating. And if for many of us, if the way we take care of ourselves is to isolate, it's because there was no one present to be with us and teach us how to care for ourselves. There was no one who gave us the care from the outside. So that's why the first instinct's to cut off and separate, okay, rather than to be present. Well, the danger of that is you will cut off and separate yourself from whatever's uncomfortable. Okay. So when we think about the Queen of Cups, when we're looking at this mom energy, mother energy, there's two ways that we see the mother, the care of mother taken care of, represented. Number one, think of caretaking versus caregiving. Caretaking versus caregiving. What many of us see growing up is the mom who gives selflessly to their children. It's the mom who doesn't have a winter coat because every year that she plans to buy a winter coat, turns out one of the kids. Or there's something that's come up that she has to give from herself and her own sustenance and gives to others. Okay. And what happens is because her needs aren't met directly, this is the mother that manipulates and controls because she truly feels powerless. And someone would go, oh my God, that's my mother. Oh my God, that's her. Oh, and you go, oh, mom, can I help you? And she goes, oh, no one's helping me. No one ever helps me. I wish someone would help me. And you go, I'll be there. Can I do something? No, no, no. Go to the other room. She literally does not have the capacity to receive help. That's caretaking. Caregiving, and the other aspect of that is she overdoes for her kids, and so the kids never learn to really be independent. They don't grow, they don't stretch. She doesn't make demands on them, and so one, they really don't ever learn how to be, take care of themselves. That this is the mom who's still paying her 40-year-old son's bills and everything, and he's not moved out of the house. But there's extreme versions of that, right? So the kids never really even get their own independence because everything that she gets, all that she is expressed through that, okay? Through that relationship with the kids. This can translate into your business, okay? This can translate into how you take care of your customers, how you're taking care of yourself. If you're continually denying yourselves and pouring into your business, if you're pouring into your work or your job. And a lot of people do that, and a lot of people are taking advantage of that way. Okay. Let's look at caretaking now. Caregiving and giving from abundance. And it is that same mom who is like the queen who sits next to the river, and all of her needs are beautifully and abundantly met because she's connected into her own power. Okay. She is not having to get her power from the king. She's within her own authority and her own power. She takes care of and she gives from her abundance. And the other piece of that is, as it's appropriate, she gives and nurtures to whatever degree the child needs at that time. And she gives enough so that they can grow into the next phase. And the idea is that she wants the child to become independent and a self-nurturer so that they have more than enough to have this well of resources to go out and create whatever they want and to have the power to do that and to learn to do that. Okay. And so that is a very different model, and very few of us see that. What we may see instead is that being cut off from care and sink or swim, which is kind of usually what's in between. And this affects us. And if we have never received that care from the outside, how can we create it from the inside? Well, one, through the 6 steps of the one command, and we can connect in and say, I don't know how to care. I don't know how to feel cared for. I don't know what it looks like, right? And we can command for that greater experience and understanding and that capacity of care to arrive. The second way is to be empathetic and present to yourself. Now, one of the tools that we talk about very often is awareness, right? And so, in being aware of our feelings, of not being cared for, of being alone, of struggling, right? Very often, what we do, instead of being aware, we go, yeah, this is happening. What's wrong with me? And we start neglecting and pushing ourselves away. Or we start overperforming, or we try to do Jedi mind tricks, or we start trying to manipulate situations depending on what model of mothering you got. Now, I'm going to say this. It was a long time that I didn't connect into the powerful, loving woman that my mom was. I didn't have that. I didn't know how to really be present to that experience of her and her capacity. A lot of that I started to see as an adult, and I felt really proud, but there was still a very deprived part of me. And it was because I said, well, what kind of mother do I need? Because not many people know how to take care of a super empathic, psychic kid who's very sensitive when, they're not raised with that unless they were that themselves, right? Most parents fail us. And in a way, it's their job, so that we can connect to that something greater for ourselves. Okay. So I'm going to invite you that in whatever way in your life that you don't feel cared for, whatever way that you feel ashamed because you're not cared for, be present to what you are not taking care of. Because when we care, we take care, right? We give care. So what is it you're not giving care and attention to? When you notice that and you go into criticism, you're not going into to resolving it and going into your capacity to provide for it. Okay? So there's a lot of clues about this unhealed or wounded part of you. And so you can look at that with your money. You can look at that with your business. You can check out your relationships and go, why is it I'm the only one who remembers everybody's birthdays, and I do all the planning, and I make sure that people are checked in on and all of that, but nobody's doing that for me. You're in a caretaking situation, okay? And you're only modeling what you were taught a good, caring person does. But you were taught that so that you couldn't take care of yourself, but you were always taking care of the adult, or you were taking care of the younger siblings, right? And hey, there was a good reason at the time for it. Maybe there was a terrible reason at the time for it. But no matter what, you have the power right now to transform it. And so, do you have the courage to be present to yourself? Are you willing to commit to this exploration? Are you allowing yourself to get new clarity around this? Oh, do you see what we're doing? Do you see how we're building on everything that we've commanded for this week? And if you haven't had a chance to check back, we started with clarity and to really tune into those teachings, because every day builds on the next. And of course, tomorrow's Commanding Cash Day. So we want to make sure we're bringing everything with us when we go and we stand in our authority and we start commanding for cash and abundance and all of our needs being beautifully, incredibly, and abundantly met, right? And I want you to know that up until now, if you have not been doing the caring things for yourself, or you've been over caring for others, you haven't done anything wrong. You're not in trouble. You're not failed, right? Right now, a lot of people are going through to take care of older relatives, or they have special needs adults in their lives. Like my brother Wes has mental health and serious health issues right now, and my 78-year-old dad is taking care of him. Yeah. And so sometimes we may have resentment, we may have some shame, there may be some sadness around that. And we may feel like, wow, as I give care, that's going to take away from the care for myself. And the truth is, when you connect in to that deep river of love, loving kindness, that deep river of loving kindness that's springing forth from you, you'll have all the power and energy you need, and the wisdom, the strength and the courage, and then the words and the ability to get the help and support that you need in order to fulfill your mission or whatever it is that needs to be taken care of. And this applies to your business, to your loved ones, to your health. There's so many things so many spheres of your life that this affects. And so I want to invite you to look at the different parts of your life that's working and not working through this lens of care. Okay? All right. Who's ready to do commands? Was this helpful? Okay. So let's go for it, my love. I use the spiral tarot in my reading. Somebody asked that. Yeah, and I still work with tarot cards. Love those. All right. Good morning, Mr. David. So happy you're here. Hey, I see we've got several people on the call today. Give me a little shout out. And I'm so happy you're here. So our command today is around care and being cared for and being a caring person. And we want to have a greater understanding about care. Okay. So we're just going to go ahead, and since we started with this image of being next to the river and all the rich resources of that river of loving kindness. So as you think about grounding and imagining you're a tree, I want to invite you to be that beautiful tree next to a river whose long roots are nourished and all the energy that you get to draw from the river, but also how your very presence gives stability and strength and supports the river. Imagine that you are the one by the river. And maybe in your mind's eye or your mind's ear, you could hear all the life and abundance, the flowing water. And everything you need is right here, right now. And as you bring your attention to your heart and you're aligning to your purpose, just be present. And there may be a part of you that's saying, I never get the love or support I need. No one ever sees what I'm going through. And so be present to that part of you that's letting you know that it needs care. And that's your purpose today, is to be present to the parts of you that need care, and to deeply listen. And as you're tuning into your heart and the love in your heart and all the things you care about and all the people you care about, just let that love become illuminated. Remember to breathe. And I want to invite you to become aware of your connection to Source. So often, when we remember to connect to Source, there's this little bit of shame, like, oh yeah, I haven't done that yet. Oh yeah, that's there. But there's no judgment. You haven't failed. Just know that it's here. And it's present to you. It's aware of you and what you need. And just as you tune into this, you may notice that your chin lifts slightly. Lift your chest. Now, with your eyes closed, roll your eyes up and picture, visualize, or imagine that you are traveling up that pole of light. The higher you go, the faster you go, and soon you find yourself in the velvety black void of space. And in the distance, you may be aware of a teeny pinprick of light. And with your intention, just go there. And as you do, suddenly you're breaking through the darkness into the light, a pure, open potential. Eyes are closed, and just for a moment, keep your eyes up as we state our command. I don't know how I came to know and understand on every level of my being that I am deeply and profoundly loved and cared for. I only know that I am now, and I am fulfilled. And we're just going to let that go. We're going to let that expand out for a moment. Your eyes can relax. And I don't know how to experience a greater capacity, my own greater capacity to truly care and be present to those that matter to me, to that which matters. I only know my capacity to care is now expanded. And we're going to let that go. I mean, we are in a time where we are experiencing care fatigue, and we don't know what to do because it seems like there's so much. So right now, roll your eyes back up. It's like, I don't know how my ability to care and my ability to act and act appropriately and to do what I truly desire to do is activated within me. I only know that because I care, I give care. Because I care, I'm able to do and be and express in caring ways. And I don't know how to have new experiences of others caring and doing and being present to me I don't know how to shift my belief around what's possible about that. I only know that I sit next to the river of loving kindness and I drink deeply from it now, and I am fulfilled. And I don't know how anyone who wishes to drink with me, that there's a cup here for them. They're welcomed here. And together we are present in a more powerful, loving way. And from this presence, our abundance flows now. And I am fulfilled. We're just going to let that expand. What an incredible idea. Let's that expand to an idea even greater than itself, even greater understanding, a greater experience of you as that embodiment of that rich, abundant self. And being in a relationship with other rich, abundant beings and being able to meet that in others, even though you've never met that part of them before. How amazing. And as that starts to, you start to get this download of what care truly is, what it means, what it looks like, what it feels like, how to live, move, and breathe from this state of true care. Just start to receive it with gratitude and witness that energy coming into you in all those moments that you didn't feel cared about, that you didn't feel cared for. Witness that energy coming into your home, into your business, into your wallet, into your bills, knowing that everything in your life is beautifully and abundantly cared for. Keep breathing. And you'll notice that some things are unwinding and letting go, and some things are just taking hold and integrating instantly. Very much like a dry sponge, just starts absorbing, just start taking it in, allowing that to come in. And now I want to just invite you to start doing daily check-ins about your care and being cared and self-care. What do you know? I mean, if you were truly loved and cared for, what would be the evidence? And we could think of all the things to do like it's a job, but what would be true? What would be true in you? This is definitely a writer downer day. And everything that you start, as you start thinking about care and the ways you want to experience care and the way you want to give care and you want to be caring, think about that. Make notes of it. And then when you get that inspiration or that idea, of course, go for it. And this is probably one of my favorite ways to work with people, for them to learn how to truly be present to themselves and learn how to, one, really learn true self-care, but also how to appropriately care and how to give that care and create care in new ways in their business. So if I can be of any help or support to you in that, please be sure and reach out to me. The best way is that we just set up a time to talk, and you can go to my appointment calendar and go to bit.ly /Big Vision Coach. And that takes you right to my appointment calendar, and we can set up a free conversation. Thank you so much for being part of today's broadcast, for being part of this message, co-creating it with me. Thank you for caring about Hey, me, thank you for your loving care of me and your time and attention to me, but also for doing that for yourselves. Because as you do that, that's going to raise your vibration, and that's going to set up a whole new dynamic in every aspect of your life. And you're going to start raising the vibration of the people around you. And we do that, we start healing the planet. So until next time, this is Kathryn Perry, the Big Vision Coach, and Witness Your Mastery. Bye-bye.